Okay, so the essence of putting these down now is I'm going to take every opportunity that I have of taking these and rotating them down, and I see that the ones that are in the middle, there's only these two, it looks like. And as long as I'm not bandaged here, and I'm not bandaged here, then I can Red Bull these two down. So I'm just going to do that now. I can't Red Bull this because I'm bandaged with this one, so that's going to be 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, and 2F, R, 2F, finish it up with LI, gotta make sure I'm just right, 2B. We could do the 2R, but it really doesn't matter at that point. So now remember, this whole time I'm trying to maintain my 6x6 solve here. So now that I have those down, I'd like to get these guys down. But I can't do that as long as these are here. So is there any part that's not bandaged? Well, these are always going to be bandaged by these guys, so I'd like to move these down. The way that I can do that is, notice I have two short ones together over here, just across from each other. I've got two long ones here, so an obvious way of doing this is, let's just put these opposite each other here, and now just do an exchange. These are two long ones not where they're supposed to be, two short ones not where they're supposed to be. I can exchange it, putting them across from each other, and going splat, and then moving it back. In that way, they were all put in. Not all of them, this one is still out, but I do have this one, this one. Let's get a third one, and then we're doing pretty well. So I like to put a third one over to here. If I can move this guy over here without moving this one out. So let's see. The way that I could do that is, well, let me see. See, this can be moved like so. Okay. So this isn't where it needs to be. It's got to exchange with a long one, this one over here, for instance. But let me see if there's still a way that I could do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to bring this all the way down here. Now, how am I going to do that? Well, the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to flip-flop these two first off. By flip-flopping that, that's going to end up on this side over here. This will end up on this side. So 2R, U, well, let's try it like this. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, UI, D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. Now there's no wrong way to do this. Some ways may be more efficient than others. But now I've got it here. Now I'm going to hold this over here and do another flip-flop with this. That way this can be in the same plane as this guy and this guy. So that's going to be 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, UI, D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, and 2R. This is what I love about the variability of the solve. A lot can happen. So now this moves back. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to go curse splat. Now with that done, what I'd really like to do is move my corners back. I'm going to quickly do that. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, UI, D. I always do this kind of damage control. 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R. This moves back, and now I'm just going to flip-flop these two here. 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, UI, D. You can see how I really become dependent on how smooth and moving this is. 2R, UI, 2R, U, and 2R. If this locked up more, it would make it very difficult. But at the end of the day, what that did is it eliminated all but 2. Can I Red Bull this in? Well, I don't know. I've got this freed up, but I don't have this freed up because of this guy over here. So my next step, if I really wanted to Red Bull this and bring it down, I have to get this out of the way. So what I need to do is I need to start pairing the long ones with the long ones and the short ones with the short ones. So let's see how this can happen here. If I do a corner swap, this is a short one over here. I'll put a short one here and a long one here, which looks pretty good. But then these guys are going to swap, which is still okay because you're swapping 2 long ones. As long as I've got 2 short ones across from each other and 2 long ones across from each other, and all the long ones and short ones are across from each other, it doesn't matter what's in the middle, because it's going to start pairing things correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a corner swap with this, leaving everything in the middle. This will swap and these will swap. And I'll have the right long ones and short ones across from each other. This is how I do all ultimate shapeshifters in a very similar vein like that. So when I have a situation like that, just pair the long ones and the short ones together, forget about the centers. So that's going to be this over here. That's going to be 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, get it on camera here, UI, D, and then finally 2R, UI, 2R, U, 2R, and this comes back. Okay, so that achieved what I wanted to achieve. These guys are across from each other. Don't worry about this. This is outside of the realm of what we're talking about. I'm just worried about this plane over here. I know it sounds a little obscure, but that's really what I wanted to do. Now what I want to do is, now that I've done that, I can move this corner. Before I moved it like this, I can bring my corners back by moving it from here. But I may be bandaged if I try to do that, because if I move this here, oh, I'll still be able to do that. Okay, so basically in short, what I did is to pair these corners up, I moved my corners from here. Now I'm going to move it from here to bring these back, bring these corners back. So that's going to be 2R, U, 2R, UI, 2R, UI, D, 2R, UI, 2R, U, and 2R. And this moves back. So take a look at what I did. At the end of the day, I've got everything back, but now I've got these guys kind of paired together. The reason that I did that is, now what I'm going to do is, first off, I got to get these, I'm going to take these centers here and I'm going to pair these centers, put these centers in with the proper size over here. So these long ones go with this. So moving it from here, I'm going to do a edge swap, adjacent edge swap, to get these where they're supposed to be. And it's going to be 2R, U, 2R, U, Get you lined up here. 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2RU, 2R, UI, and whoops, 2R. Okay, let me move this bad boy up a little bit. Okay, so you can see what I did is I've paired all these together. Now what I want to do is I just want to flip-flop these edges here. So instead of moving it from here, I'm going to move it from here. So I keep sequentially going further and further out to pair these guys together, and now I've got to pair the whole centers together. That's 2RU, 2RU, 2R, 2U, 2R, 2U, 2RU, 2R, UI, and 2R. So now you can see I've got this in a nice brick form, but the reason that I did that is so that I can free up these guys, so now I can Red Bull these edges down. So let's do it. 2R, 2B, oops, that's not 2B, 2R, 2B, 2U, L, 2 up, RI, 2 up, R, 2 up, 2F, R, 2F, and we'll just do a LI, 2B, and if you wanted to, you can finish it up with a 2R. But there you have it. So now I've got the edges down. The next part is fairly simple, straightforward. All I'm going to be doing is sliding U techniques to get all these guys in. Now understand, I can get these all in, but these guys, I can't. So just to give you a little bit of a, with sliding U techniques, I can't use sliding U techniques to get those in. So just to give you a feel for what I'm about to do, I'm going to take this and move this in. And then, now, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to slide all of these glues out. So move this in. Slide it like so. Now I'm going to move these three out. Okay, move this back up here. Turn this up. Move this back along here, and this whole kit and caboodle moves up like so. And this moves back. Okay, so I move this in. I moved all these three out. And I did that because now I can make an almighty turn and move it all into here. So move all these into here, all these blues. Bump it out of the way. Move it all down from this layer. Move it back here. Move this guy back up. Move all of these down here and move this up. I'm telling you, we got to get this mass produced. This is just an incredibly fun puzzle to solve. So now all these are back into here too. Okay, so then it's just a matter of doing them one by one, sliding them in. So I see an opportunity for two. The problem is I don't think I can't move this in, so that's not really an opportunity at all. However, here's an opportunity for two. So the way this is going to work is I'll go ahead and move this to here. I'll move this down to put these two in. And then I'm going to go splat and then this will move down, whoops, and this will move down. And now we're going to bring this up, move this back in, and reconstitute what I just did. Even sliding U techniques are fun with this because you can mix and match. And like I say, the variability of the solve really makes this a lot of fun. Okay, and then first splat. So I managed to move both of those in. So I'm just going to continue to follow suit. It's really the same sort of thing. Same process. So here's an example. I'll move this green one down in here, slide it to the left, down on the left, slide it back to the right, then go up on that right, slide it back down on the left, and we'll go up on that left, and splat. So this is it. So the major hurdle was actually getting all these down, was unbandaging it. The other major hurdle is going to be putting all these back in. The sliding U technique is really not a major hurdle, it's just a matter of doing it. So we'll go ahead and do one more here. And then I'm going to speed through it, because it does take a little time. And the way that I'm positioned on this particular cruise ship is it's very hard on my back to show this way that I'm showing it. To be honest with you, that's why you don't see a lot of outside shots anymore. It was just getting too difficult. But I couldn't wait until I got home to do it. Can't let a puzzle go scrambled. And it was scaring the people who were making the room up. Okay, so that's placed in, and I'm just going to continue to place all the rest in that I can with the sliding U techniques, except for the ones that are here, 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 and here. Okay, so now I'm just going to finish up with the last of the sliding U abilities, which is this guy over here. Spent a little bit of time just putting them all in, so I'm going to slide my blue one down, slide it to the left, bring it down on the left, slide it back to the right, up on the right, slide it back on the left, and up on the left. And splat. Okay, so another hurdle was now achieved. Now I've got to move these guys into this space, and this is where it might get a little bit more complicated. I'm going to have to do a little bit of deconstructing and reconstructing, but suffice to say, let's get a line of 4 across here, which I can do if I move these into here. So I've got this line of 4. I just have to remember I'm going to finish my reconstruction by getting these back in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these here and I'm going to line it up like so. Okay, so basically I've got these 4 here, and that's where my exchange is going to be. I'm not going to try to put the right colors in because that's going to be a little bit cumbersome. So what I'm going to do is from this standpoint, I'm going to move this down, so this is over here. I'm going to take this guy here, and I'm going to move him across from here. So that way I can flip-flop these two and put this in the layer that is going to be here. And this is even layer, so it's 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. Okay, so you can see this is down over here. I'm going to move these edges back. It doesn't matter what direction I move them, but I'm going to just move it like so. Now I can't stop there because I moved the misplacement to the edge here. But remember, I turned this 180 degrees, so I've got to remember to turn it back. And now let's go ahead and flip-flop these guys. 2U, 2R, and it's the terminal 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. Now that I've done that, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to get back what I put in. So I'm going to go like whoop. So I have to remember what was what. I can move this like so. Okay, now as I recall, to get these in I had to move these guys. But let me see. I think the bottom one is going to have to turn. Now I can tell which one has to go once I get these guys lined up. So if I turn this here, if these are all in, then we're good. And those are all fine. Now I've got to move these back into place. And the edges will guide me. And these are all fine. Now this got turned here, so... Well, actually, it's not fine. Not yet, anyway. So I think maybe I have to turn this over here. I'm just basically trying to reconstruct what I put in. And splat. Okay. That was very close to being correct, but not really. And the reason is because these centers don't match these centers over here. So if I turn this like this and turn this like this, as you can see, these centers got flip-flopped. The way that I can maybe deal with that is just to take this whole set here and flip-flop these two. So it's 2U, 2R, and then do a deep. Let's do this right. Okay, so it's these guys that I want to flip-flop. So we have a 2U, 2R, and then do a deep, 2F, and then do 2U, 2U, and then do a deep, 2F, 2R, 2U. Alright, so these got flip-flop. Now I'm just going to flip-flop these guys the same way. 2U, 2U, 2R, then a deep 2F, 2U, 2U, then a deep 2F, 2R, 2U. So I like to clean that up so that I don't mess up my original solves. So now I got to put these guys back in. And this might be a little simpler than it seems, or maybe not. One, I've got this out, this out, this out, and this out. So it's a matter of matching all of them. This is going to take a lot of deconstruction and reconstruction. So I'm going to want to put these guys in. Okay, so these two are lined up over here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to line these two up as well. Okay, so these two are lined up, and these two are lined up. Now it's going to get very complicated here. So now I'm going to move this like so, and now line these guys up. Am I going to remember what I did? Good Lord, probably not. But it's a start. It's a getting it out of the floppy form. So I'm just gonna move them in as best I can. Like so. And now this is going to move down like this. And this is going to move up like so. Okay, so we've got all these in here and all these in over here. I know I'm probably not going to remember everything that I just did. But that's okay. Part of the fun is getting it back. Anyway, let's move this down. And now let's go through the process of doing our exchanges and see what happens. So we've got 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. So I'm going to move this over here, simply bring this down. Now before I do anything else, I'm going to see how much I can backtrack. Move this over here and do 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, 2F, 2R, 2U. Okay. So now we have it down to a Rubik 180 solve. And now my question is, can I get ourselves back close to where we were before? Well, I'm taking a look and I'm seeing that there's certain asymmetries that are here. For instance, nope. These are symmetric here, these are symmetric here. But I think I went like this. It doesn't really matter, I suppose. But anyway, so I think I did that. And then I'm going to start moving these guys in. Because I think I went like this. Like that. Alright, so far so good. I've got this over here. Now what of this? Like that. I like how that's looking. And now maybe I can go like this. And I can go like this. Okay, so that's a lot closer than I... Oh, that's pretty good. So I appear to have gotten it back. Don't ask me how I did that. I just sort of retraced my steps. So now we've got it out of the floppy form, and we've got it in this brick type form over here. And what I'm going to do next, really, is I've got all these centers in, these that I need in, these are all in. I'm going to slide you everything that I can across these guys here. So it's the same technique as you've seen in the past. I've got a string of whites over here. Will that find a home here somewhere? Sort of, kind of, but not really. But I can move 2 oranges here. Turn it like so. This. And I'm going to let these centers here guide me as to what I have to get back. And turn. So I've completely unbandaged this puzzle. Move this over here. Okay, I've got a string of 2 that I can put in, which seems to match these 2. So I'm going to try to take as many opportunities as I can to make with the solving. Turn this over here. This comes over here. Back. So you can see I did extend something of an effort to keep myself in the 6x6 solve pattern as well, because it does save some steps, I think. Okay, I've got 3 here in a row. Do I have a series over here? And I think I do. I've got 2 here. I can move these 2, I suppose. Moving it in on the left, sliding it on the right, and double turning here. So I think I'd classify this as a giant puzzle. Now if only I can get my 17x17 to move the smooth, that would be great. Move this over here, and turn. Without getting lost. There. Almost got lost, but recovered. Okay, so I'm going to keep doing this until I have all these in except for the last ones over here that I have to put in another way. Then I'm going to hit into edge territory. I've got 3 here that I can put in. I need 2 in a row? No. Alright, so I'm going to continue to do that.